Hello, my name's PowerMad, and today I'm going to show you how to make a nice rounded Web 2.0 object like this for use as a website graphic or any other use. First, you must open Photoshop. Here I have CS3. Make a new document. I'm going to use 2x2, but it doesn't really matter, it depends on your needs. Notice in the corner in the layers palette that we have the layer named as background. That's the name used if the image has already been flattened. So we're going to double click on that, press OK, and we have a layer. Now over here we're going to create a new layer. We'll delete the previous one, and now we have a checkerboard. This indicates that it's transparent, and these checkerboards won't show up when you use this on the internet or in another Photoshop document. So what we do is we go to the rectangular marquee tool. Sometimes it might be set as the elliptical tool. Just right click and select rectangular. Now we'll just make a random size object here. And a new thing in Photoshop CS3 is the Refine Edge tool. Now we'll just click on that. This gives us the opportunity to change how we want the corners to be rounded. We want them to be really smooth, or we want them to be only slightly. We can change the feathering to add a kind of outline look. This looks about good. We'll go ahead and OK that. Now we're going to fill it in with color. Over here we have the paint bucket tool. That only gives a very flat, boring color, and that doesn't look very good in web graphics, so we're going to use a gradient. Now if you haven't used gradient tool before, you go up here in the corner and we have a little box. We click on that and it gives you all these sorts of options. You can use rainbow, lined, but for this we'll just use a simple gradient, dark to white. But in this case we'll use a lighter red first, click on this, and then we'll go to a much darker red and OK that. Now you just make a straight line down here. You can do it however you want, and boom, we have a gradient. Now what we're going to do is go back to the rectangular marquee and deselect. There you go, we have our first part of the thing done. Now we're going to toy with the blending options a bit. The blending options allows you to add shadows, strokes, or neon glows to any object in the layer. So we'll add a drop shadow and a stroke. Click on the one you want to edit, such as the stroke. We'll make this about 1, and we'll change the color to darkish silver. Now back to the drop shadow. For drop shadows, you'd want to make them opaque, meaning they're slightly see-through, instead of making it completely black, because that just looks awkward. So here we have it faded, the distance a little bit less, and voila, we press OK. Now we want to add text to make our logo complete. So we're going to just load up the text tool. I'm using the font Nail Scratch, which you can find on grunge font websites. It's an interesting font that I've been using. Now I'm just going to put in OSF, because that stands for Open Source Films. And there you go. The thing about Photoshop is sometimes the font size can get a little confused. See as how it says 24 point here, and in fact it's much larger than that. Sometimes we'll even have to make it 9,000 just to make it that size. This thing is very unusual. Now we're gonna go back to the text, the layers, and right click on the text layer. We're gonna rasterize this type to make it more editable. Now right click, blending options, and we're gonna add pretty much the same options, except in the stroke we're going to make the color black. That makes the text pop out more and make it more readable. Now you see that we have the text there, but it doesn't really contour or look like it belongs there. It's just laying there. What we want to do now is duplicate our first layer by right clicking, going to duplicate. You can name it whatever, and you see we have it here. We're going to drag our text layer, OSF, under that. Now don't be alarmed that you can't see the text anymore. What we're going to do is go to the layer properties here, or the layer options. We're going to change it to soft light. Now observe how that helps it blend in more. You can do a lot of things to it. You can even make it hard light, vivid light, linear light, and just keep on going through all these different types of layers, and you can just choose whatever one is right for you. Now that we have that, see, if we move it now, we move a certain object. What we want to do is make it one object. So we're going to right click on any layer and merge visible. Do not press flatten image. What this will do, it will take away the transparent background and replace it with a white background. So just merge visible. Now you have one object. It's just like that. Now you can save this object and use it in, say, another document. Just drag the layer over and you can set it wherever. So if you're doing a web design, just drag this into your web design document instead of making it right in the document. And that's how you make a rounded object in Photoshop. For more tutorials, visit backtotheshed.com. That's 2 with the letter 2. Backtotheshed.com. The number 2, of course.